Hey everyone, it's Matthew from The Quest. We are so close to the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, and so today I'm going to be making my final predictions for the Direct. We're going to be going over release date, launch games, what games I think we'll see at the Direct, price, all those kinds of details. We've got a lot to get into, so let's dive in. All right, first things first, let's go over first party Nintendo games that I think we'll see. And first up, I think is going to be a new 3D Mario. Now, originally I thought that this would be a launch title for the Switch 2. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we will see it, but I think it's going to launch about 3 to 4 months after the system launches. So I'm expecting this to maybe launch around September or August for this new 3D Mario game, but Super Mario Odyssey launched in 2017. So it's been a long time and we are way overdue for a brand new 3D Mario. And I think we're going to see it in the Direct. Also think we're going to see a new Donkey Kong game. The last Donkey Kong game we got was Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, which came out this year. However, really the true last Donkey Kong game that we got was Tropical Freeze, and that came out on the Switch in 2018, which was already a port of that game from the Wii U. So I think we are again way overdue for a new Donkey Kong game, and really, to be honest with you, I would love to see something where the new Donkey Kong game has maybe like an open zone design with maybe a central hub area, something to change up the formula a little bit and take the series in a new direction. Another thing I think we'll see is Star Fox. Now, the last Star Fox game we got was Star Fox Zero in 2016. And I don't know which direction they would take this new game in, but I think that we are definitely really needing to see something from Star Fox. We didn't have any new entries in the Switch era, and so I think it will make a comeback, and we will see a new entry in this franchise in the Switch 2 era. And I think we're going to see it at the Direct. I think whatever they show for a game that hopefully does exist and is coming, I think it's going to release in 2026. I also think that we are going to see something Zelda related. Now, it is way too early to be seeing the next 3D Zelda game, anything of that nature, but I do think we will see something Zelda related at the Direct. I think I'm going to call that we are going to get a remake, and I'm going to call that the remake is going to be of Ocarina of Time. And I think it's going to launch this Christmas holiday. I think that's going to be the game for this that season of the year. And so I can't wait to see what they have for that, but I think that's what we're going to get for the Zelda related content in this Direct. Next up, I think we will see something Fire Emblem related. The last Fire Emblem game that we got was Engage in 2023, and it had DLC a few months later. But I think that we will get to see something new in the Fire Emblem franchise this year. And whatever they show us, I think it's going to launch in 2026. Something else I think we'll see is Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing New Horizons, which was the latest game, came out in 2020, and I thought it was a great game. I really enjoyed my time with that, and I think that the team working on that is ready to show off something new. And so I think this year, or really this Direct, we are going to see a new Animal Crossing game. I'm going to call that it's going to launch in 2026. Another thing I think we're going to see is Metroid Prime 4, more footage of that. Now, last week at the Switch 1 Direct, we did get more information on Metroid Prime 4, but I think Nintendo has been holding back, and I think they have more info to share with us on this. I think that we're going to get a full gameplay level of Metroid Prime 4, and I think we're also going to see an emphasis on the visual enhancements that the Switch 2 hardware brings to the game. So I cannot wait to see more info on Metroid Prime 4 at this Direct. Another thing I think we might see is Kid Icarus. The last Kid Icarus game that we got was Uprising in 2012, and it's been a long time since we haven't gotten a game since then. And I think we will see something new in this franchise in Switch 2. And so I would be excited to see what direction they take it in, and I think we're going to see something at this Direct. I also think that we're going to see Monolith Soft's new IP that they've been working on, or at least it's been rumored that they've been working on for a while. We know they finished up the Xenoblade Chronicles content. Xenoblade Chronicles X just launched, and so now they are ready to launch in a new direction. And I really think that we're going to see whatever their brand new IP is that they've been working on for a while at this Direct. And whatever that game is, I think it's going to launch in 2026. Luigi's Mansion 4. I think that is another item that we are going to see on the Direct list. And we know that Next Level Games came out with Luigi's Mansion 3 in 2019, and I really enjoyed that game. That honestly was one of my favorite games of the Switch era, and I would love to see a sequel to that. And I do think we will get one. I think we're going to see Luigi's Mansion 4 in this direct, and I think that it's going to launch this year. I'm going to say that it's going to launch in October of this year. Okay, let's move on to some third-party games that I think we're going to see at the direct. First off, I think we're going to see Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring is a lock, and I think it is going to launch this year. Of course, with the Shadow of the Erdtree edition, so it'll have the DLC. So we'll have the full experience, and portable Elden Ring makes perfect sense on the Switch. So I think that is definitely a lock to see in the direct. Another one I think we'll see is Fallout 4. Bethesda already has Skyrim on the Switch, and I anticipate that they will want to bring more of their games to the Switch, and I think Fallout 4 is going to be one of them. I think that they will show it off at the direct, and I honestly think that it's going to launch this year. I'm going to predict maybe October of this year that they launch that, but I definitely think that one is coming, and I think we will see it in the direct. Another one that I think we're going to see in the direct is the Halo Master Chief Collection. Xbox has been shouting it from the rooftops lately that, hey, we want to bring our games everywhere we can get them, and I think that they're going to bring that collection to the Switch too. I think that this is the perfect time to introduce that series to Nintendo players. Many, if not the majority of Nintendo players have never experienced Halo, and I think that they would, this would be a huge win for them to get this collection because you've got Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, Reach, Halo 3 ODST, all of those in one package. The only thing it's missing is Halo 5, but it's got everything else, and I think this would be, like I said, an incredible win for the Nintendo Switch user base, and I do think we're going to see that come. I think we're going to see it at the direct. Another one I think we're going to see is Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, out of all my predictions, I think this one is probably the most far-fetched, but I do not foresee Capcom wanting to miss out on the Switch user base. I mean, we're talking an incredibly massive user base on the Nintendo Switch. Capcom already has Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch, and so I do think they will bring Monster Hunter Wilds to the Switch. Of course, with some decent graphical downgrades, I think will be there, of course. But I do think they're going to figure out a way to get it onto the system, and I think we're going to see it at this direct, and they'll say something like coming 2026 or something like that. Split Fiction is another one that I think we're going to see at the direct. This recently came out not that long ago. It came out on several other platforms, and this kind of game is perfect for Switch 2. It is a co-op centric game, and it would be absolutely perfect for the Switch 2 system. And just saying like, hey, grab a friend, grab one of your family members, let's sit down together, let's play through this. I totally think this is going to be something we see at the direct, and I think it will launch probably in maybe spring of next year, 2026, or maybe summer of next year, one of those two time frames. Borderlands 4 is another title that I think we're going to see in the direct. We already have the Pandora's Box collection on the Switch that has all of the Borderlands games with the exception of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, but it's got everything else. It already runs on the Switch, and I think it runs pretty well. And so I could definitely see Borderlands 4 coming to the Switch too, and I think it will. I think it will come next year, of course, because the Borderlands launch is not until a little bit later this year. But I think we will see it at the direct, and I think, again, they will say something like, hey, this is coming next year. All right, and my last one on this list for third-party games is Sniper Elite 5 or Sniper Elite Resistance. All the other Sniper Elite games are on the Switch with the exception of Sniper Elite 5, and so I think that we will see either 5 or Sniper Elite Resistance, which came out a little earlier this year, on the Switch. This makes perfect sense for them to bring one or maybe even both of these over to the Switch, and so I think we'll see it in the direct, and I actually think it will launch this year. One of those two titles, maybe even both, I think we will see them a little bit later this year. So let's talk about new hardware details, because we know we're going to get more information on that. And I think that we're definitely going to get information on, of course, the typical things, battery life, and I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and talk about that. For battery life, I think maximum amount of time we're going to get on the Switch 2 is around 6 hours, and I think that we are going to get probably around 3 minimum. That would be the low end of the battery life for the Switch 2. Now, as far as storage is concerned, The OLED Switch model has 64 gigabytes for the storage. And we all know that these new games are going to take up more file size. They're going to be larger. They're going to have more file size. They're going to be bigger. And so it's going to require more space to accommodate these newer games. So I see Nintendo upping that base storage to 128 gigabytes. I think that is going to be what they're going to launch with. And that will be the storage for the Switch 2. Let's also not forget to mention the C button. We have seen that in promotional marketing, really just as of late from Nintendo. Officially, they have put out some marketing materials showing that C button, but we've heard rumors about it for a very long time. And to be honest with you, I really have no idea what this button is going to be used for, but my guess is going to be something with the functionality of the two Joy-Con controllers functioning as mice. We've already seen that in the promotional material. The Joy-Con controllers sliding on a table, kind of like mice. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to detach the two controllers, and then the right Joy-Con controller, you press that C button, and it's going to function as a mouse. So that's my call for what the C button is going to be on Switch 2. I think we are also going to see a new updated Nintendo eShop, and I am so ready for this because the current eShop is so slow. It lags like crazy. It is a not very good experience, to say the least, as far as trying to find games on there and scrolling through different pages. It really is a nightmare to try to get through that thing. And so I would love to see them update the Nintendo eShop, and I think they will. I think they are going to give us an updated eShop that is more robust, that is faster, and performs a whole lot better, and is a little bit more user-friendly. So I think we will see that in the Direct as well. All right, let's talk about online multiplayer a little bit. Now, for this new era with the Switch 2, I think that Nintendo is going to really open up some things on the online functionality side. We already know that Activision has signed a deal with Nintendo that they're going to be bringing Call of Duty to Nintendo systems for the next 10 years. So in order to do that, you've got to have a good, solid online multiplayer feature and functionality list. And so I think that they're going to make it happen. I don't know what it's going to look like. I think it'll be just enough. Whatever updates they bring, it'll be just enough to get that job done, to have a decent, good experience with online functionality. So I think we're going to get new information about that in the Switch 2 Direct as well. Another thing I think we're going to get information on in the Direct is Nintendo Switch Online. I think that we're going to get some new games that are dropped onto that. I think we're going to, of course, have announcements of some new things that are coming to that. But really the biggest thing that I think they're going to announce with that is the launch of the GameCube for Nintendo Switch Online, which I would love. That would be absolutely fantastic. I do think we're going to see that at the Direct, so that will be an exciting time. Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What is the price going to be? I think that they are going to launch with the Switch 2 at $399. I do think there's a possibility that they launch two models with a $399 version and a $449 version, with the $449 having an OLED screen. However, I think that is a very small possibility. And the reason why is because if they were to launch that at those two price points, I think that Nintendo would be cannibalizing sales of themselves. And the reason why I say that is because if I'm a consumer and I'm thinking, okay, I could pay $50 more and get an OLED screen instead of an LCD screen, and that OLED screen is a lot better and it's going to give me just a better overall experience. I could definitely see that happen in the consumer thinking, well, why would I want to buy the $399 version? I can pay $50 more, get the better experience on that $449, Switch model. Let me go with that. And so I just don't see Nintendo doing that. I think they're going to launch with one model. It's going to be priced at $399, but I think that they're going to launch with two color schemes. I think they're going to, of course, have the blue and red that they've already shown, but I also think they're going to have the gray and black, safe color scheme as well as another model option. Okay, let's talk about the launch games really quick. So I think that they are going to launch with two titles, Mario Kart 9 and Metroid Prime 4. And the reason I say that I think both of those are going to be launch titles is because, number one, Mario Kart 9 is the multiplayer focused game. That's the, hey, grab a few friends, come over, let's play Mario Kart together. That covers your multiplayer game. But then on the other side, for Metroid Prime 4, that is covering your single player adventure experience. And I think they want to have both available and offering both of those at the launch of the system. All right, so finally, I think the release date is going to be May 15th for the Switch 2. I think that is the date that they are going to launch the system. That gives Nintendo almost a month and a half of marketing time between this direct and when they would supposedly launch the system. But it also is the same day that they're launching a new Nintendo store in San Francisco, California. So these two coinciding together, I just could totally see that happening. And I really think that May 15th is going to be the launch date. So I'm going to lock that in as my prediction. The Switch 1 era has been such a fantastic time for first-party Nintendo games and third-party games. And the Switch 1, of course, will continue to get support from Nintendo for quite a while, I think. However, I really am looking forward to a new system. I'm looking forward to having better performance, better graphics, and really just seeing what Nintendo can do with upgraded hardware. And so, while the Switch 1 has been fantastic, it's been out for 8 years. And so I'm ready for a new system. And I cannot wait to see what the Switch 2 will bring. But I want to hear from you in the comments below. What are you looking forward to the most seeing in this Direct? What do you think that we will see in the Direct? If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Take care, and I will see you all after the Switch 2 Direct.